Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Gemology for Schmucks. My name is Peter Nelson. I'm here to guide you in everything you need to know about gemstones and gem cutting. This video is about where is the value in rough and how to evaluate rough. Now, I will not claim to know everything. This is knowledge that you compile over a long career with a lot of different types of rough. But what I'm going to do is share with you what I understand so far so that you can avoid the mistakes that I might have made. You're welcome. So what I have right here are a few goshenite crystals. This is colorless beryl, or very faintly blue, at which point, if you want to call it aquamarine, you can. I'm not fussed. They cut the exact same way, because they are the same thing. The only difference is trace elements that give it a color. But the question is, fundamentally, which is more valuable? When I go to buy it, how do I need to think about this rough? Let's start with this piece right here. This is what I'm taking to call the dream team, because this is the type of rough that I know I can just dop up and cut right away. There's very little evaluation that actually needs to happen. I just think about where can I get the best gem, oriented a little bit like this, pop it in the dop wax and start cutting. All of the major complexities of other normal rough are taken away because it's already been sliced by the dealer. There are no major areas with flaws that are going to affect the structural integrity. Any of the major inclusions are either obvious and easy to avoid, or they're just taken out entirely. So this is glorious stuff, but this is not normal in the market. And because it has had all that extra weight removed, the price is also higher, because the dealer has to calculate his loss on the material that he already removed. That's why this is more expensive. Dream team pieces like this may have come from something like this. Now, if you want to get your money out and you want to profit on a crystal, what you need to do when you look at a crystal like this is look at it from all these different angles and evaluate what parts of the crystal are going to have to come off, definitely. And features that would let me know this area's gotta go are things like cracks or major ugly inclusions. So when I look at this crystal, there's an entire stair step over here. If I were to cut this crystal as one gem, that's going to be a huge problem, because there's no way it can be a flat facet together, so that's got to get cut off. But maybe what can be subdivided first? The next thing that I see is a large plane of inclusions. So what I would do in this situation is I would start by cutting down that plane of inclusions and separating this into two pieces and then evaluating the crystal again. So if this is a crystal I've already bought, that's what I'm going to do. If it's a crystal I haven't bought, then I have to think, okay, roughly this amount of weight is going to go into one size crystal. I can cut one gem out of that. The rest of it, how large of a gem can I cut out of it? Then I have to think, how much can I sell these two stones for? If it makes business sense, then I can buy the crystal. If the value of those finished gems is unlikely to beat the price of the rough, then I don't touch the rough. Bye. Next crystal. A piece like this has a large face, but it's pretty clean crystal. I know because I've looked at it, I've evaluated it with my torch. I decide whether or not I can accept the inclusions that it has. In my opinion, yes, because without the torch, you don't even see them. But as I move the crystal around, I see that it's quite flat. So I know that this is not going to be one gem with one large face, because that's just going to lead me to having a huge window. So this piece is going to have to be subdivided. So if I compare the depth percentage, how shallow or deep this side is compared to the face that it can have, I know that this one large face stone is going to turn into 4 or 6 other pieces. I'm going to have to subdivide it so that the faces are small enough to allow me to close the window. And then again, if I've cut it 6 times, what's the value of each individual stone? Can I resell those and cover the price of the rough or profit from it? Heaven forbid, profiting from business? So that's how we have to think about large flat-faced stones like this. Another similar piece is like this, large face, but very thin, a little bit thicker than that previous one. But as I look around it, I notice that there are huge areas that have large cracks and fissures in it. That area is going to be completely wasted. I can't cut a gem out of that at all. So in my mind, I have to calculate, okay, I remove that area, I lose what percentage of this stone? What weight am I working with at the end? How much more do I need to subdivide it? And what types of crystals can I get out of this final stone? For me, I don't know if I would buy this crystal, because once you've gone and tried to clean everything up, you're left with maybe 30% of the original weight. Do you really want to waste 60% of your investment? How valuable does that final stone have to be to make it worth buying this kind of rough? That's what you need to calculate. For me, this is a headache. If it's cheap rough that you're learning on, fine. If it's tourmaline or emerald or sapphire or ruby and you start looking at huge losses, and you're looking at not only a very large investment, but everything that you grind away is just a substantial loss that you have to accept. Rather than wreck your investment, I would just say pass on it. You have to be confident in what you can get out of that investment. So when you go about buying rough, what you need to keep in mind is how much of the crystal has already been prepared for you. That's work that the dealer has already put in for you so that you have a more efficient cutting experience, whether you are cutting it or having somebody else cut it for you. If you want to go with something less efficient that takes more analysis, it's very important to keep in mind what you think the final gems will be and what they can sell for. That's the only way you're going to be able to protect your investment. You can do that by evaluating what areas necessarily must be removed, how many times does it have to be subdivided to avoid things like structural flaws, and also the depth percentage. For the depth of the stone, what's the largest face size that you can get out of the crystal while still closing a window? These are all things that are going to affect the saleability and value of your stones. So I understand that's quite complex, but I hope that it assists you. And if you have any questions, please head over to gemshepherd.com where you can hit contact, find my email address, and contact me directly. Otherwise, you can read blogs about gemstones and investing in gemstones. Otherwise, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Tell all of your friends about me, and until next time, bye-bye.